Have you ever just stopped and thought about how your body, well, how it just works? How it keeps your temperature perfect, your energy levels just right, all without you lifting a finger? It's kind of like we're all walking around with this super smart, self-regulating computer inside of us. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of its most amazing tricks, feedback loops. All right, to get started, I've got a question for you, and it's going to sound a little weird at first. What in the world does that little box on your wall, your thermostat, have to do with the way your body handles dessert? Well, it turns out the exact same principle that keeps your house from getting too hot or too cold is what's keeping you alive and running right now. You see, at the very heart of all this is one simple idea: feedback. Now, I know that sounds a little technical, but stick with me. All it means is that the result of something a system does, its output, loops back around and tells the system what to do next. It's like a constant conversation, a continuous check-in to make sure everything's on track. And our bodies, they are absolute masters of this. Now, there are two main kinds of feedback, and we're going to start with the most common one, the true unsung hero of our biology: negative feedback. I want you to think of this as the great stabilizer, the force that's always working to keep things in balance. Its entire job is to fight back against any change that pushes your body away from its happy place, what scientists call a set point. You know what it's like? It's exactly like the cruise control in your car. If you start speeding up, the car eases off the gas. If you slow down, it gives it a little more. The goal is always the same: get back to that perfect speed. Well, negative feedback is your body's cruise control for pretty much everything. Let's go back to that thermostat to see it in action. Okay, so step one, the room gets a little too cold. The thermostat senses this and bam, sends a signal to turn the furnace on. As the room heats up, it's opposing that initial cold. And here's the really important part. As soon as the room hits that perfect temperature you set, the system shuts itself off. That right there is a perfect negative feedback loop. Okay, so now let's see how that exact same logic plays out inside you. We're going to move on from the thermostat and look at one of the most important negative feedback loops in your body: managing blood sugar. It really is like this perfectly balanced seesaw, constantly making tiny adjustments. And to understand this seesaw, we've got to meet the two main players in this game. First up, you've got the pancreas. This is the control center. It makes the chemical messengers, the hormones that give all the orders. And then you have the liver, which is kind of like a sugar bank, storing any extra glucose for when you need it later. So let's get back to that slice of cake. You eat it and whoosh, your blood sugar spikes. That's the change. Your pancreas senses this immediately and releases a hormone called insulin. Now, insulin is basically a key. It goes around to all your body's cells and unlocks them, telling them, hey, open up, there's a ton of energy out here, grab it. As your cells pull in that glucose, your blood sugar level drops right back down to normal. It's an amazing system, and you can see how vital it is, because when it breaks, that's what can lead to conditions like diabetes. But what about the other side of that seesaw? What if you skip lunch and your blood sugar dips too low? Well, the pancreas is on that too. This time, though, it releases a totally different hormone, glucagon. Glucagon travels over to the liver, the sugar bank, and basically says, all right, time to open the vault. The liver then releases all that stored glucose back into your blood, and your energy levels rise right back to where they should be. It's just a perfect push and pull system. Okay, so if negative feedback is all about being the stable, responsible one, what happens when your body needs to do the exact opposite? What if it needs to hit the gas to push your process forward until a big job is done? For that, it's got another tool, a rarer and way more dramatic system: positive feedback. Unlike negative feedback, this one doesn't fight change, it amplifies it. The result of the system loops back and makes the original action even stronger. So it's not about balance, it's about building momentum fast. Forget cruise control, this is like flooring it to merge onto the highway. It's a full-on chain reaction. And you see this system pop up in some of the most critical moments of life. Take childbirth. A contraction triggers the release of a hormone called oxytocin. But instead of calming things down, oxytocin causes the next contraction to be even stronger. That stronger contraction releases even more oxytocin, and you get this escalating powerful loop that only stops when the job, delivering the baby, is done. Same thing with blood clotting. You get a cut, and a few platelets rush in. They then release chemicals that call in an army of more platelets, creating this lightning-fast cascade to seal the wound. In these cases, the goal isn't balance, it's overwhelming force. So let's just put them right next to each other to make it super clear. You've got negative feedback, the stabilizer. Its whole deal is to oppose change and maintain balance. It's the common everyday process. Then you have positive feedback, the accelerator. It enhances change, it pushes a process all the way to the finish line, and it's used for rare, special jobs. One is all about stability, the other is all about explosive, rapid change. So why? Why does the body need these two totally opposite systems, one that hits the brakes and one that hits the gas? Well, because together they perform life's ultimate balancing act. And that balancing act, it has a name: homeostasis. This is the big picture goal of almost everything your body does on autopilot. It's just this process of keeping your internal world, your temperature, your chemistry, everything stable and constant, no matter what chaos is happening outside. It's the reason you feel good when you're healthy. And this quote from one of our sources really just nails it. It says that the opposing actions of insulin and glucagon help maintain normal blood sugar, and in doing so, maintain the homeostasis of the body. That dance between the two hormones isn't just about sugar. It's a perfect miniature version of what your body is doing everywhere, all the time, to keep you in that perfect state where life can thrive. So if you're going to remember one thing from all this, let it be this: negative feedback is the 24/7 reliable workhorse that's constantly keeping your body in that beautiful state of homeostasis. And positive feedback, that's the highly trained specialist you call in for a very specific short-term mission that needs to get done and get done now. And really, that's the whole story. So the next time you shiver when it's cold or feel your heart pound before a big presentation, maybe just take a second to appreciate these incredible invisible loops working behind the scenes. Now that you know how to look for them, you might just start seeing them everywhere. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other hidden systems are keeping you in balance right at this very moment?